Get ready to reunite your passion for early childhood education. I'm your host, Marcia Nicole, and welcome to the Inspiring ECE podcast. Our goal is to build community where you feel inspired and motivated to be the best version of yourself. So join us as we dive into the world of early childhood education together and reunite that fire that brought you into this profession. As an educator, I know how challenging and rewarding the field can be, and that's why I created this podcast. We'll explore the latest trends and challenges faces in the field. We'll have expert guests and webinars and provide workshop, coaching, and mentorship programs that will help guide you to your ideal work-life balance. So join us as we dive into the world of early childhood education together and reunite that fire that brought you to this profession in the first place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Inspiring ECE podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about rediscovering your why. I know some of you have been questioning it lately, and that's okay. As educators, we often get bogged down by daily routines, responsibilities, and it is very easy to lose sight of the why we started to do this work in the first place. So today, we're going to try and explore some ways to reignite your passion and connect your heart back to the work that you so love and do so well. So let's dive right in to today's episode. But before we dive right in, I want to share a quick little story with you. A few years ago, I hit a major roadblock in my career as an early childhood educator. I was feeling extremely burnt out, frustrated with the system, and I couldn't seem to find my joy anywhere in the work anymore. I felt like I was just going through the motions every day. I can feel some of you nodding your head with me in agreement, and that's okay. It was a difficult time for me, and I considered leaving the field on multiple occasions. But it wasn't until I embraced myself with a mentor and community. I had a great conversation about the impact that I actually have in the work that I'm doing for children. They reminded me that I needed to silence all the negativity and focus on my why. The reason I became an early childhood educator in the first place was I loved discovery that the children make on their own. I was able to find that little bit of joy again, but most of all, I was able to rely on my community to get me out of that little bit of funk that I was in. So in that moment, I took some time for some serious reflection. What was my why? Why do I really love this work when I know there's so many other opportunities or other jobs I could have that could financially support me better, that would recognize me more, that would do all the things that would bring my whole life joy? But I just loved educating young minds. And I needed to find how I could do that every day, even amidst the negativity and all of the negative aspects that some of the childcare industry has with it. And that will lead me into my very first part of today's podcast, the importance of knowing your why. I have a question for you. Have you ever just felt lost and uninspired or unmotivated to do the work? Of course you do. I can just feel you saying, she's talking straight to me, because I am. We all have those days, and it's okay to feel that way sometimes. But you need to always take a pause and remember your why. It can help you stay focused and motivated on those days that are so hard. My first tip to you will be take some time to reflect on your why. It is so important that we take that time to reflect and refulfill our passion for the field. For some of us, that might be something we need to do daily. For others, weekly. For others, it's just too late. And that's okay. It is always a great idea to reflect in all aspects of your life. But right now, we're talking about our why. So let's think about how we can do that. And I'm going to pose a couple questions for you that I want you to ask yourself on those really hard days. So here goes. Question number 1. What drew you to the work in the first place? Maybe you journal it. Maybe you voice note it. Maybe you tell a colleague. Maybe this is a conversation you have with your coach or your mentor. Anyone that's providing you guidance, any way that you choose to reflect, it's a great place to start. My next question for you is, what are some of your proudest moments? Are we celebrating our wins? Are we really taking account about the really good work that we're doing every day? Or do we just think that it's a part of the job? It really isn't. Those are moments to be proud of. But are we reflecting on those moments? Then you also need to ask yourself another question. Question number 3. What have been some of your biggest challenges? It's okay. When we start reflecting about things that didn't go right or things that aren't going okay in our programs, that's okay. That's a challenge. When we reflect on them, then we can make change. We can adapt. We know where the work needs to come from. And that's all part of reflection. I'm just going to leave you with those 3 questions. I really want you to take a moment and reflect on your journey. This is the beginning to start to reconnect your purpose and your passion for the field. It's only a beginning, and take a small step. It might only be one thing you reflect on. It might be the smallest little thing, but starting is a starting point, no matter how big or how small. Okay, so we talked about reflecting, but let's talk about rediscovering your why. Maybe you've been in the field for a very long time, like myself and others, and you've lost sight of your why. Or maybe you're just starting out, freshly out of college or university, going into this big, bright world of early childhood education, and you are not quite sure what your why is yet. Either way, it's never too late to discover your purpose and your why. With that being said, I want you to take time to think about what brings you joy. And I hope you could feel my smile when I said that. It's what brings you joy. Is it seeing the children's face light up when they learn something new, or when they're engaged in a material or a learning opportunity you presented them? Is it building those relationships and bonds with those families in your community? Whatever it is, hold on tight. Hold on real tight, because that is your guiding light to your why. With this part, I just want to share some tips or actionable tips that I have taken personally that helped me reconnect with my why. I want you to do what works for you. You are going to try things. You are going to experiment. You are going to find your way. I'm just here hoping that I can provide some guidance in the little bit slightest way possible in this community. I'm doing my part. For your why and rediscovering it, try writing it down, but keep it somewhere visible. Somewhere it's a daily reminder. When I hit that really, really dark place, when I was all done with the classroom and I just couldn't bring myself to get out of bed to do the job that I absolutely love, I got a dry erase marker and I wrote my why on a mirror. It is something I saw every day. It kept me motivated to get up. It kept me motivated to do the job I love to do. But please, don't take my advice for it. You don't have to write it on your mirror. Maybe it's on a sticky note. Maybe it's just in your favorite journal. I'm just saying, write it down. It helps commit it to memory. Another one is I spent a good amount of time talking to a colleague. I found a really great coach that supported me, and that's what I'm offering you as a community. Reach out to me, to colleagues, to friends, to social media groups, wherever it is you can find that ability to connect your why, professional development, all of that good stuff. When we connect as educators, we often focus on building relationships with children, but it's also important to remember that we need to connect with each other. We tend to miss that out. And I think that is where I connected with my why again, is building a support system that helps you feel more connected to your work. I want to remind you, that might not be in the center that you're in. It might not be in the school that you're in. You might not be able to connect with those colleagues. But that doesn't mean there is not a community out there that's willing to support you in wherever you need. You just got to find us. We're here just for you. And the last part I want to share with you is once you've worked through those steps, the last part is embracing your why. Once you discover your why, it's time to embrace it fully. And that's why I'm here. My why has always been in the classroom, being there for the children. But now my why is, how can I motivate and be there for the educators that they can continue the work that they do? I'm going to say it. You guys are my why. This podcast right now is my why. I want to share my stories. I want to share my advice with you. I want to help them build this community. This is my why. Without us, the children will not become critical thinkers, and they will not enjoy their play and their surrounding and embrace the world around them. So right now, you are my why. And as scary as this is some weeks as I sit in front of this microphone and I share with you, I'm embracing my why. It is extremely easy for us as educators to get in a rut of doing the same things over and over, being comfortable in a space of things that we've been doing for years. Just like I have challenged myself to step outside the box and embrace this world of podcasting, I want you to do the same. Embrace your why by doing something different, interjecting a new creativity routine, or doing something different to engage the children in a different way. I know it's going to take time, and I know it's easier said than done, but I want you to trust the process. Not everything needs to happen instantaneously. We're growing and developing together. So be patient with yourself first and foremost. When you are making these changes, when you are embracing your why, when you are reconnecting, it might be messy at first, and that's okay. We need to start giving ourselves so much more grace because we are there for the children, and I am here for you. So before I go, because I feel like I've spent so much more time talking this time, more than usual, actually, I just want to do a quick little recap of the things that I mentioned in today's episode. Set aside some time to reflect. That could be a journal, that could be speaking with a colleague. Spend some time reflecting. Write it down. Write down your why. Take some time to visually see it. Let it be a daily reminder that you see every day of this is my why. I guarantee it will help you get through some of those rougher days, I promise. If you can, reach out to a coach or a colleague, attend professional development, keep that fire and passion burning in any way you can, and incorporate your why in your daily routine. Lastly, I want to tell you to step out of the box. When you find your why, embrace it. Shout it from the rooftops. Enjoy your work. Find the joy in your work again. That is all the time we have for today's episode on Rediscovering Your Why. I hope this has given you some inspiration and motivation to reflect on your why and why you started in the field and how to embrace your passion. Remember, you are making a difference in the lives of the children within your program and classroom. If you are looking for additional support, I Aspire to Educate provides coaching, professional development, so please visit our website at iAspireToEducate.com. You can also connect with us on social media at Aspire to Educate. We'd love to hear from you and help you continue to grow and thrive in your work. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Inspiring ECE podcast. Thank you for joining us. We had a blast, and we hope you did too. Remember, this is your community, and we want to hear from you. So connect with us on social media at Aspire to Educate. Visit our website at aspiretoeducate.com and also send us an email. All the details will be in the description or the show notes. And don't forget, we're here to support you through your educational journey. So subscribe and tune in for future episodes. And let's continue to inspire and support each other to the best versions of ourselves. Until next time, have yourself a great day.